Parikh, and this is the Blackboard for interpersonal relationships. Things might look a little bit different when you see it. I might move some things around, I might add some things, but this is a pretty typical layout for me, and I'll be able to, even if things are a little different, you'll see main, sort of kind of the most important pieces. So the home page has just kind of a few different things. Honestly, I just do whatever Blackboard comes up with. But you can also click to go specifically to announcements. Most announcements I also send an email out. Sometimes I'll also, if it's something quick or something that I kind of need to push out to all my classes really quickly, sometimes I'll do that over email because I can just hit the class. I create a group for the class, but usually I try to put the class, the PS261 in the subject line so that you can find it if you search your email. You can also search your email from everything from me, sparikh@caldwell.edu. So there's a few links. First is the syllabus. Let me change that real quick to open in a new window. I like to use Google Docs for a lot of things because if I notice a mistake or if I need to adapt something because of the way the semester is going, that happens most often with classes that are newer to me. This is my second time through with this one, so I'm still tweaking it the way I want it. It also happens with when things are weird, like I expect them to be this fall. So there's a Google Doc. You can access it anytime. Instructor information. It's stuff that I have to include for my online classes, and I used an online class as the template for this, so it just has some basics. Remember, I don't give out my cell phone in general, but you can use Google Chat with my email, and it'll pop up just like a text for me, and you can call my office phone, and it'll forward to my mobile phone. So with both of those, please be respectful of time. So not much after 9 o'clock in the evening or before 8 a.m. Email is a free-for-all. You can do absolutely any time. It doesn't make noise on my phone, and I will get back to it when I can. And even if you Google Chat me, that doesn't guarantee that I'm going to respond in 2 seconds, just like calling me doesn't guarantee that I'm going to pick up. But it could be good for shorter, quicker questions that are a little time sensitive. Meet with Dr. Parikh, that pulls up my calendar. I don't have my office hours in yet. I am still waiting to find out if I have childcare this fall. So if I have childcare, which I should find out tomorrow, then I'll set daytime hours while my kiddo's at daycare. But if I don't, then it's going to be probably 1 or 2 daytime hours and most of it in the evening after he's in bed. Just because that's a little more reliable. Grades, I'm going to reorder these still so that it's by due date so that things group together, but this is where you can come and see your grades. Percentages sometimes get a little funky because I'm dropping certain things, and your participation grade comes from a combination of your discussion board activity and your live participation, and you get to choose either one, and that's really hard to tell Blackboard what I'm doing. And I don't want to just grade your attendance in your discussion board. It just gets really messy. So the number of points you can always trust, but the percentage can be weird. So I will never take away points from you, except let's say the one case is if I drop your 3 lowest, theoretically, if you had really good attendance, that might mean that you had more counted than you should. You should only get up to about 240 points for attendance. I would probably allow a few bonus in there, but that's about what that's supposed to be. But other than that, the points you get, you keep forever. Blackboard calendar. This is the most reliable way to see when things are due. This is the only place that I really list due dates right now. And that's just because I know things might change and I want to keep it in one place where I can move things around. I will never make things due earlier. I will only make them due later. So don't worry that I'm going to change due dates and throw you off and trick you into not having something ready on time. The module to-do list, this is where you find, for one, this is the most reliable place to find links to all your videos. I'll show you later in a moment where I'm going to try to link videos, but it's a little clunkier and a little harder to do, so I can't guarantee that I'll get in there and get all the videos. But the module to-do list is going to be the most up-to-date. It's going to have the most updated links. And I try to give time lengths on it just to give you an estimate. And so you can see ones that have no minutes, that's because, for example, I'm doing this right now. And it also tells you what assignments are due in that 2-week module. And I tell you what dates that module is set to run. You'll see sometime, let's see, I think I've got all of the discussions planned. They might change though. I might see what kind of questions tend to work better and rework them. Sometimes I've got kind of a plan for the videos that I want to make. Other times I just am saying, yep, I'm going to throw some videos there. So some of the course, the lecture part, normally those are things that I, would come to class and do. And so I didn't have those lying around. Yeah, and then you can see the last couple weeks, there's a lot of readings and videos. So that's the module to-do list. You can make a copy for yourself, but one thing to keep aware of, it's hard because particularly this course, I don't have the content created. My other courses this semester I have online versions of already, so I could just pull those lectures. But this course I didn't have content, and I had a lot of other things going on this summer, including not having childcare. So it's kind of the last thing that I'm doing. Everything else is in place now, and so this I can just keep up with it, but that means that it's hard to make a copy of this for yourself. What I would probably say is every new module, I would come in and make a new copy of the latest module. Because assuming that I'm going to come in, change, add links, change things around a little bit. Normally I say make a copy and just make it yours. Where is it? Make a copy. And it'll save it automatically into your drive. But in this case, I'll say make a copy and then update it every week. And then when it's your copy, you can just kind of delete things as you go, if you want, or highlight or do something like that. And then remote meeting schedule, that's where you find the list of which day we're meeting. For now, the plan is super direct and simple, Wednesdays, but I'm being very aware that this semester the plan may change a lot. And those 2 documents are also linked at the bottom of the syllabus. So this is kind of everything to do with scheduling and dates all in one spot. Next up is course content. We've got modules. So this is not an online class. I don't have an online version of it. I don't especially want to do an online version of it. Though if I have all of this information together, I might, just because it's basically mostly created. But as I said, the other courses I'm teaching this semester, I have online versions of. And so I was finding that that format was working really well for remote. So I'm kind of copying that format. So each module has readings and resources and then learning activities. I'll show you where these learning activities live in a moment, but you can see there's little link symbols here. Let me switch over. Let me turn off the editing mode and then it'll look a little more like how it looks for you, I think. So there's little navigation link things. That means that that's not really where it lives, but it'll take you to where the thing is. And that's true for all of them. The discussions, it's a little harder because you don't see the description, but the assignments, it's pretty nice because you see everything. So the assignments, I think I have all of them linked up right now. If let's say I change the name or the focus of one of the discussion boards, that might not get updated back in the link part. But the trouble is with the readings and resources, there's a lot of them often. And as I make a video, I can, I set it to start uploading in YouTube, and then it immediately gives me the link. that I can add to the module to-do list. So you can see I have made all of these yesterday and today, and now I'm making this one, and so this is going to get linked pretty quickly. It has to finish processing before I can upload it here in Blackboard, and that delay makes it hard because I can't just do it all at once. So if I have time, I will come in and add these videos. And again, a lot of this is dependent. If I have childcare, I have a lot of time to pull everything together and make it look really polished and nice and easy. But if I have to make choices on what to do, I'm going to prioritize lectures and grading and interaction, and I'll let you just go to the module to-do list. So I'm, hopefully things will be easy peasy, and I can, link everything here in this folder to make it easy for you. But if not, know that it's always available in the module to-do list. Also, the first chapter, just to give you a little time to get a hold of the book, I do upload a PDF. Oh, that's a little funky. Oh well, you can figure it out. Oh, that's very funky. Ugh. Oh well. Yeah, it's legible. I was just checking. So it's not the best PDF in the world, but it is a PDF of the first chapter. I don't do more than the first chapter because I feel uncomfortable, because a lot of textbooks are super duper overpriced, but it is somebody's work and not just the author. The publisher puts in a lot of work into making it too. And so I fight by looking for a lot of low price and free resources rather than posting chapters. This book in particular, you can get it for $10 or $15 a lot of places. A lot of libraries have it. But normally I also say you can always come look at mine during office hours, and I often try to get one in the library on hold. I can't do that this semester. So if you really do, if that $10 or $15 is a huge barrier for you, reach out to me and we'll talk about some options. Next up is, so that's modules. Also the modules, yeah, that's the kind of overview. I'll probably move that down to the bottom in a bit just to not take up so much room. Discussion board. Every week you'll have one or two, usually two. The first week is just one, and actually I think that's due on the Monday. I don't have specific due dates. I just say you need one post by the due date and two responses within the next 4 days. The due date is almost always Monday, which is the day we don't meet for class. And the idea is you always make your initial post, and that gives you half the credit for the post. And then the other half of the credit, you can either respond to your peers or you can come to class and participate there. And you don't have to, pick one or the other for the semester. You can do a little bit of both. I showed it somewhere else, but I'm going to show it here just in case. For the introduction, I ask you to do a few things, including post a photo, and you do that a lot for the check-ins as well. And if you use the paperclip, it just doesn't read in very well. Let's pick, this should be from his birthday too. So that just, and people, once it posts, people can click that and see the photo. I mean, it's attached, but they have to download it, which can be particularly difficult depending on what kind of computer you're on or what kind of device you're on. But let's do that. And you want to make sure constraints proportion is there. Let's do 500 pixels. Yep, that's slightly before the I'm out of here picture you see in the other video. That's my kiddo on his first birthday. There it posts right in the window for everyone. You don't want it to be giant. You don't want it to be tiny. I might change it and do 300 instead. Just depends. Or I might make it larger for a particular picture. And then the picture shows up right there in your post. So that's an important skill to have. I also link to a video where you can create you can see my stuff is marked with my little profile picture. like, let me see, I think, and another one. And I give you some bonus on the introduction if you add a profile picture. No, this isn't. It's another class I'm thinking of where I have one. But if you add a profile picture, I think particularly for students who aren't able to come to class at all, but even in general, I think it just really helps to get to know people and tell people apart, and it gives a more personal feel. And I care about that quite a bit in online classes and in-person classes too. And so with this being sort of a hybrid remote course, I want to make sure that you have time and space to connect with peers. So that's the discussion board. You can get to all of these discussions through the modules, but I like going through discussion board because then you can read the description. I might even copy and paste it into my response while I'm working, or you can work on your response in a separate document and then copy and paste it in at the end. So expect you're going to do 2 posts a week and then responses. For now, I don't think I specifically define what those posts are supposed to be. I may add something to the syllabus before the class starts. If needed, I will add more specifics to the posts themselves about what I'm expecting. Usually I like to see 150 to 300 words for an initial post and something like 50 to 100 words for a response. But this is also my first time running this kind of, I adapted trying to keep everything together in the spring, but this is a very new format for me. So I have put a ton of thought in and a ton of work, but also expect that I'm probably going to have to tweak things a little bit as we go. Okay, so after that, we have kind of sections of projects. So first is article discussion leader, and there's a few sub-projects. Most of these descriptions match what's in the syllabus. Sometimes it gives a little more information. And you can click on individual assignments. Movie analysis papers. And you saw these pages for the videos for the individual assignments. And then genogram assignment, there's just one assignment. But everything else kind of has a nested home, so I stuck that there too. And then live discussion points. It has due dates just to separate when they are. You don't need to submit anything for them, at least not right now. If I change my mind and decide I need you to submit something just to help me track what's happening, I will make that very clear. I'll do an announcement, I'll add something here, I will make sure it's clear what I need you to do. But for now, each week has one, so week 1 doesn't have anything. This is for week 2, then week 3, week 4. So each module has 2 pieces. And my hope is that in the gradebook, this will be right next to your discussion board points. So you can look at those 2 pieces and see if you got all of your points for the week. If you did everything in the discussion boards, you should have at least 20 points in your discussion board score and 0 points for live discussion points. If you did your initial posts and then came into class, you would have 5 points on each of your 2 discussion posts and 10 points under live discussion. Then there's some links to things. There's every chapter has some slides. I might update these as I go through. So again, it's a good idea to look back occasionally if you make a copy for yourself. Some of the chapters are extremely detailed. Some of them are much more brief. I'm not sure which format is better. They definitely have strengths and weaknesses. I might add more details to some of the shorter ones. Some of them are things I did for last year. Some of them I did just for this semester. I need to set that one to open as well. There's no way to, oh, I'm not editing. That's fine. And then this for the last 2 modules, we're doing other topics. Some of these, I took the things that students had wanted to learn about last year that I think are pretty important and meaningful. And I might add some more just general family system sort of things here. I don't know, you've got some really good videos and readings about family systems though, so I might just talk a little bit about them. And then down here there are writing resources. Part of it takes you, I should just link directly to the playlist there. But this takes you to YouTube for, it's just my writing and psych materials. There's templates you can see. And this is, again, it's just my generic writing and psych materials. But if you just need a blank, essentially an empty document that's set up with a title page and a reference, just grab a paper template here, make a copy, and then delete the middle part. And then some other resources, I linked to counseling resources. As I mentioned in the syllabus, it's something that's always available, but especially with this class, expect that at some point you might feel something, just because we're talking so much about relationships and communication difficulties. So just be aware that sometimes that can bring things up for people. Library, Blackboard help. Yeah, so that's our Blackboard. If you're not familiar with Blackboard, and even if you are but you haven't been in one of my classes before, I often use the same formats, and they take a little getting used to. One of the things that I think is difficult is that things are linked in multiple ways, so it can be hard to figure out how to navigate, because you'll say, but I clicked somewhere else to get there last time. So I recommend spending 10 minutes while you're watching TV, just kind of clicking around and seeing what's in different spots. Just get familiar with where things are. But if all else fails, I recommend trying the calendar, because you can go through and see all of the assignments and kind of look until you find the one that you're looking for. It doesn't, my side, because I'm an instructor, doesn't look the same as yours, but you can easily click and go to the assignment from the calendar. If you have any other questions, shoot me an email or book a time to talk with me. If you see anything that seems off or wrong, if you see discrepancies between Blackboard and the syllabus, always feel free to let me know. It really helps when you include screenshots, because then I don't have to wait until I can go look at it for myself. I can just see right on my phone what's going on and how urgent it is to fix. Thanks so much. Take good care. Bye-bye.